Oh boy, Dash is out again. Anyways, welcome to episode 51, I think it is, of the Datsun build. This episode, it's still up in the air. Now, this episode is all about getting the AC, the evaporator mounted inside the dash. There's a lot of work, custom brackets. I'm still not really 100% done, but I've got it in there pretty good. Here, I'll show you a peek of what it looks like today, even though it ain't done yet. End up making a new bracket out of steel, but in the video you'll see I make it out of aluminum. That was an early prototype. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe down below if you want to see more. I'm still working on the AC. Just got another bag of these stupid connectors. I'll show you how I use this crazy, where is it? Oh, it's down here on the floor. Look at the size of this thing. Doesn't look like anything on YouTube. This thing is a beast for crimping lines. I've already crimped a couple of hoses. This is the only hose I've actually got done. Nothing is installed yet. Just got my O-rings. This crazy kit didn't come with any O-rings. Had to buy my own O-rings separately. And I ended up buying another rivet tool and a bulkhead doohickey. But anyways, this video is all about mounting the evaporator in the dash, and I think I'll introduce the 5-speed trainer that I buy at the end of the video, because in the next video is all about doing the 5-speed swap. That's why I'm just not getting back to the AC on this one. I kind of go sideways with the 5-speed. Yeah, actually the next video will be another test drive and why I do the 5-speed swap. Anyways, enjoy this video. Truck's in a million pieces right now, ripping it all apart. I don't know if you can see this, but I got the original package shelf with the truck. Looks like it bolts on one screw on the side, one there and one on the back. The problem is that little bracket in there. I can stick the screw in here. Here's the original package shelf, which is a pretty cool accessory. So this bracket, as beautiful as it is, it's a heavy duty bracket made for that little package shelf. Looks like it's welded on. Oh, there it is. It's spot welded right there. I found it. So it does not unbolt. I don't know what to do. I want to try to... that is right in the way of the air conditioning. Okay, so actually this is a great angle. I think you can see down here, this bracket down here is where the shelf, the height of the shelf. This is the upper mount, and then there's another mount on the firewall on the side kick panel. So now I bolt it in. So if I cut that off, I can just remount it to the side of there's going to be sides here, closing in this big void. This is all going to be enclosed. So I can just mount the shelf off of that. I won't need that anymore anyway, so no harm done. It's not going to prevent me from putting the shelf back in. So I just mocked this box up. It actually fits with no modification of the truck. That bracket that normally holds the shelf, it's just about ideal for the bracket for this box. I've got the 2 AC on this far right. Right in the left here is where the heater cover comes out. It basically lines up with the old holes, or whole area where the block is on this. Okay, I found the way to mount this thing. You need a 1-gallon jug and another 1-gallon jug, a round one and a square one. It's exactly the right size to mount the air conditioning. Who knew? I needed something to hold that thing up there. So I think I've got this air conditioning / heater wiring figured out that it came with. I got no wiring schematic. I think it's pretty simple. There's a ground wire, comes off this box, and a red wire that goes to switch power. Got a fuse. Got a green wire, which I assume goes to the magnet on your compressor. So it goes through this switch, which is a thermostat switch, and that's all it does is turn that green wire on and off, turn the coil on and off. And then you got a little temperature sensor, so it measures, I guess, the cabin temperature. So I don't really need that, but and then it also power is a little LED to let you know that the air conditioning is on. And then this brown wire comes from the fan switch. So inside, this kit came with two switches, one for the thermostat, which is misleading because that's the air conditioning temperature, not the heating temperature. And then this switch is for your fan. So it's just like the factory Datsun one, except for this one's got one extra wire. You got the 3 speeds, which I think are white, blue, and yellow. And then you've got your red as your power coming from. Oh wait, that goes to the fuse box. Where'd this red one come from then? I don't know. Where'd the power come from? Power came from the red. Oh yeah, power comes when the fuse here, goes in, goes into the switch. So red goes in, and the brown goes out. That powers your coil. Goes off to the temperature switch, and then powers your coil, so the brown. And then your 3 speeds. So I think I'm going to replace this. I'm thinking about just getting rid of that switch and just have a simple on-off switch for that coil, like the old 80s, 90s trucks have. And then get rid of this switch. Since this is a rotary, I can't mount this in the dash. I'm just going to use the factory 3-speed fan one, and it just won't turn the coil on and off. So I don't need this either. So I was trying to figure out how to retrofit this into the dash, but it's got this weird push-on knob that doesn't match the style of my other ones. So I'm going to use the Datsun one for that. Then I've got to figure out how to control the temperature of the heater. How do I turn the heater on and off? Because this box just sucks air in. If you turn on the motor, it's going to suck air in and blow through the heater core and the air conditioning. I want different temperatures. I need to be able to turn this off or turn this on. So I can turn off the heater by flipping that switch. To turn off the AC by turning off the coil, right? The compressor won't be running. But to turn off the heater, I need a valve in here. So I just looked up. Vintage Air actually makes a mechanical valve, kind of like an old Datsun Z factory style, mechanical valve that turns on the water hot and cold. It's like 12 bucks or something. So if not, I can buy, I found one for the Quest that's like brass. It's like 20 bucks brand new. So I'll have to get that turned, because I could technically put the heater on today, put this in, hook up these hoses, and I'll have a heater. Figured out the mounting, and then, the output. I think I've got that. That's going to be the hardest part, is figuring out the airflow. So I got the wiring figured out. I don't know if there's actually wire on the dryer. There should be a low pressure or low pressure, high pressure switch on the dryer, ideally. So this thing won't run unless there's pressure in the system. I don't know if it came with one or not. I don't think it came with one. I'm sure I could add one. Where's my dryer? What are you doing, dog? Trying to heat my air conditioning? Okay, so here's the whole system. Got one wire here with a bullet for the solenoid. So that obviously goes to this brown wire coming off of whatever. So it just needs voltage. Basically, it just needs voltage. So I'll just run that from a separate switch. But yeah, I just looked at the dryer. It is old school style. So I haven't seen one of these in a long time. It's actually got the side glass. This is probably just a low pressure switch. So this needs to be wired in series to the coil. So in between here and here. So that if this pressure is too low, it won't turn on the compressor. So I didn't realize I had a switch. It was buried under this little cap. That's cool. So electrically, got a magnet switch. Probably get rid of that thermostat, get rid of that switch, and I think I'll do mechanical for the heating. And I've actually got the factory aluminum steel vents. Maybe I can wire that up to the old water turn on or off switch. Alright, I had to pull out the dash bar because to mount this AC wasn't working like I hoped. The mounts are too weird. I'll show you in a second. So I took out this bar. This is what this bar is designed for, to hold stuff. So I'm going to hang the air conditioning from the dash bar and the back wall, the firewall. So I just welded on some little angle tabs, 16 inches apart, because that's the specs on the dash bar. So you can see right here, this is the AC unit in the normal configuration. It's exactly 16 inches across. And it's like 11 inches deep. But the bolt holes, I found out, these are like 74 millimeters deep, like 5.5 inches, whatever. But there's no dash. The dash kind of goes like Kind of goes like this, or it goes like this. There's no place to mount. Well, really you want these mounts to be halfway, like in the center. These mounts, there's no steel there basically on one of them. There is on one side, not on the other. The dash kind of goes like this. The back wall is like this. So I'm trying to shove this thing up all the way, right below the wiper. So I've decided to move over a little bit. These mounts are not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert it to like this. So I'm going to mount this hanging off the front bar. Probably put another tab on the back wall or whatever on the back wall and hang it that way. And then I'll probably have a bar across the back. So it's just too wonky with these things. All this adjustability sliding around. It's a pain in the ass to put in and out. And there's just 1,000 different positions. I needed to be in and bolt like the factory. Just bolt on the holes. So here's what it looks like gutted. It took me like 10 minutes to rip all this out, which is kind of scary. So now you can kind of see what I'm dealing with here. Let's get the lights going. Thank you. Useless light. So there's the two original heater holes right in the back of the light. So the AC lines are going to be like right here. And the heater's over there. And if you look at that, they're not that far away from factory. The heater's gonna be coming out over here, so they gotta jog over somehow or drill new holes in the firewall. Don't know yet. At the bottom of the box is gonna be right here, literally right above that shelf. And it's just, I was gonna put it underneath the wiper and move the wiper and blah blah blah. I'm just gonna move it over. The reason I'm moving it over is not because of the wiper though. It's because of the 3 outlets. There's like 3 outlets here and 1 here. I'd rather have the outlets more in the center of the truck so I can get the air that way. Maybe one have straight, one that way, and then one go up to the windshield. So that's why I'm going to move it over a little bit more center. So you can see the dash is all curvy. That's all, and you can see it's curvy down here. It's bump, 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 3 different sizes. So Nissan is really trying to make me angry, mounting a flat box. Well, that box ain't flat. That thing is a circle connected to a rectangle connected to the goofiest shape. It is small though. I will give it that. It is a nice small size. Considering it's a heater and an air conditioning and a fan condenser all in one. It is flipping amazing that it's all in there. So let's make the brackets. Alright, so here we go. I got the brackets bolted on with some 6mm bolts. I reused my radiator relocation bracket mock-up prototype ones. That's where they're all notched up. It doesn't matter, you'll never see them. They're under the dash. They got to be cut to length. They're probably about an inch or so too long. But now these brackets will hang off of these. They'll bolt to here with nutserts. But now I'll be able to put this back on the truck. I got to figure out how to mount these on the back wall level. And then I can just literally bolt those to these, get it exactly where I want, because there's just no upper dash. And the back is not flat. You can actually see from here. You can see there's 3 different levels on the firewall where it's going to go, and there's 2 little levels on the top. So this will make it a nice flat surface to mount to. I just swapped out the 3-inch blocks for some 2-inch homemade blocks. For the first time ever, the truck is dead level. I don't think it's level left to right though. I wanted to take out a leaf on one side. Oh, now it's in the truck is level. Alright, I took this thing off. This thing is probably gonna need to get redesigned or cut down, because once I get rid of that, it changes everything. So here's my new brackets. So I've got a right and a left. These actually mount into the frame, and they grab the AC box. You can see right here my little tab. So I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall them. So basically it's all nutserts. There's actually a nutsert already in the cab underneath the wiper motor right here. The perfect place. That's from my future glove box floor, and that holds the AC in. This one I put an L bracket to the firewall, AC mount, and then the crossbar. So those bolt in, and the AC will swing like a hammock from those 2 bolts. And then I'll add a 3rd bracket on the bottom once I pinpoint the location. I'm not going to use these at all. These are just too hard to make.
Alright, so let me see if I can show you how it, let me get the brackets.
Probably up.
I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is the left top. So, and some bolts. I'm just using old Nissan 6mm bolts. It does actually go in and clear, but it's really tight. So that's why I took it off. I've never tried this before, but maybe I could put it on. Of course, it hits all the bolts. This thing, oh my gosh. Oh, I think it's on. It's on. Wow, okay. That's.
What do you think of that? Let me see if I can get the right lighting. It's not obtrusive at all to the passenger. It's actually better than my 720s and D21s as far as floor space, which is surprising. Yeah. Still got tons of room for the center console for all that junk. So yeah, I'm making all this technology fit in a little package. Amazing. It's just amazing. Pretty cool how this technology exists now. It's so much smaller than the old stuff. Alright, so I just picked up another L20B, not running, and it actually came with a 5-speed. I think it's from a 79 620. I got the complete motor here. Doesn't run. Supposedly seized up. It's got the AC compressor. I took off the distributor. I didn't want the carb. I did actually get the fan.